Hey, let's begin with a few breaths, shall we? So exhale first and take a deep breath in. And let go. Deep breath in. Let go. One more deep breath in. And release. So, as some of us know, this year throughout the Centers for Spiritual Living, our theme for 2023 is Living Out Loud. And this month, the month of September, the theme we are exploring is Loving Out Loud. And, some of you know I was at the Parliament of the World's Religions in Chicago a few weeks ago, which is a large 6,000-person interfaith gathering of people from all over the world. And I went to an event that was facilitated by Matthew Fox. Raise your hand if you know who Matthew Fox is. Okay, a few of us. So Matthew Fox is an excommunicated Catholic priest. And so in his talk, one of the things, my credentials are I was fired by the Pope. And it was like, ooh, I want to listen to this person. Because those are some credentials I can get behind, just will say. But one of the things that he was saying in his talk after the event was that, we live in this world where there is so many people around us who are motivated by a sense of hate. And that thing is very much up in our faces. We see it coming from people in leadership in this country. We see it in all the little icky in-between places, that there's a lot of this experience that seems like there's a lot of hatred in the world. And he said, do you know what the antidote to hate is? He said, the sacred. That's what I said. Because I always thought, the opposite of hate is love. The antidote to hate is love. And we're going to get there. But something really struck me about what he said, that the antidote to hate is the sacred. Because what we mean by the sacred is connection, awareness, communication with that deep, subtle essence that is the very nature of existence. That is what everything is made of, right? And the sacred is the body of God, is the life of God, which means the planet, which means every living body, which means every living thing, which means every particle, which means all of existence is part of this thing that we call the sacred. And when we connect with the sacred, however that be, whether it's through our spiritual practice, whether it's through time in nature, whether it's with our beloved, whomever that may be for us, when we're in connection with the sacred, we feel it. We know it. It permeates us, right? And when we're detached from that thing, it's easy to feel separate. It's easy to see the other as someone opposing us. Right? And the words of Dr. King have been echoing in my mind. Darkness cannot put out darkness. Hatred cannot put out hate. Only light can do that. Only love can do that. Right? And, we talk about this idea often that if we meet that which we see in the world that we don't want to see with the same energy that's coming at us, what are we doing but creating more of that energy in the world? So if we hate the one who hates us, we are in this perpetuation of more hate in the world, which is not the world that I want to live in, and I'm pretty sure it's not the world any of us want to live in. That there has to be for us, when we live in this world where there's so much coming at us, there's so many circumstances, there's so many conditions that might be available for us to say, wow, there's a lot of separation, wow, there's a lot of things that are broken, wow, there's a lot of hatred in the world. In order for us to do anything about that, we have to be connected to a deeper source of motivation. And to me, that is our connection to the sacred. Because if we are able to look at life, look at the world, as if everyone and everything that is coming at us is in some form spirit, God, life, the universe, creative energy showing up, inviting something from us, then there's a different kind of activation if we think that there are two forces in the world, one for good and one for evil. Right? We have to develop a spiritual practice, an awareness for ourselves that indeed all life is sacred. And we get that by connecting with the sacred, by realizing that when we go into meditation, when we go into prayer, when we gaze into the eyes of another, when we spend time in nature, we feel it. We feel the something more that is there. We feel that spark of love. We feel that spark of light and life that lives in everything. But I think it's something we actually have to develop a relationship with. The sacred is what is. It is the nature of existence. It is the very planet we stand on. It is the very substance that we are made of. But if we're not looking for it, we may not see it. And that becomes difficult when that which we're looking at is reflecting back to us this story that nothing is sacred, right? And that we have leaders in this world who are proud of how uncompassionate they are, right? And we have to look at that and say, what is going on here? And I think for all of us, there's this invitation to look at what is and begin to look deeper, begin to look through what is into something more. And we're only going to get there by developing a perspective that's willing to look for it. Because if we're not willing to look for the good, if we're not willing to look for spirit, if we're not willing to look for the deeper nature of things, there's plenty on the surface that's going to distract us. Right? But we have to be willing to cultivate something so deep within ourselves that it allows us to look through what is and see the deeper nature of things. And I really believe that this whole conversation we're having about living out or loving out loud has to first be about contacting that essence of love, cultivating it within ourselves, so that we are the people who are so steeped in love that that actually becomes what we see and what emanates from us in the world. But we have to do practices. We actually have to train our mind to look for the sacred, to see the love, to be it, so that we can bring something else into the world, right? So I want to do a little a Buddhist meditation practice with you to just cultivate some loving kindness in our minds, okay? So we're just going to start there. So take a deep breath in. If it's comfortable, close your eyes. Allow yourself to just settle into the space where you are. And just take a deep breath in. And I want you to bring to mind someone that you truly love unconditionally. Perhaps this is a child, or a beloved partner, or a parent. Maybe it's a cat or a dog. But just pull someone into your awareness that you love wholly and completely unconditionally. And just take a moment and in your heart and in your mind, send them that love. Imagine them happy. Imagine them at peace. Imagine them having everything that they need to feel fully supported and loved. Maybe even smile a little bit as you think about this person. Now I want us to each one of us, bring someone to mind that you know, but maybe they're not someone you love unconditionally, but someone that you know. It could be someone here in this center. It could be someone you see at the grocery store, someone that is at a gas station you frequent. but just pull up a face. And now for a moment, just send that person your love. Imagine them happy. Imagine them at peace. Imagine them having everything they need to feel fully supported and loved. And just send them your love. Now this time I want to invite us all to call up another person, and this is someone we're going to call a difficult person. Someone you might find it hard to love. You may not even know them. They could be someone you see out in the world on the larger global stage. This could be someone who you may have some conflict with in your own personal life. Just pull up someone who you feel is difficult to love. Now that you maybe have that person, before we go to giving them love, I want you to first imagine them as a baby. Imagine them as a small child. And now send them a little bit of love. Imagine that child happy. Imagine them taken care of. Just send that pure soul your love in this moment. And so now I want to invite you to place your hands on your own heart and take another deep breath in. And now just take a moment and just send some love to yourself. Imagine yourself being truly happy, feeling this love, having everything you need to feel fully supported in this world. And just hold that heart space and take a couple deep breaths in, breathing in and letting go. Another deep breath in and let go. And now we're just going to, as a group, take a couple moments to just send some love around the world where it is needed. And so as you hold your heart, as we just hold this heart space together, I want to invite us to bring to mind the people of Maui. Those who have been affected by the fires, who've lost loved ones, who've lost homes. And just imagine this collective group right here, sending our love over the ocean to the people of Maui and holding them in our hearts right now. Imagining the connections, the community support, all the ways that people are helping each other. And we send them our love. Take a deep breath in. Now I want to call to mind the people of Morocco after the earthquake that happened yesterday. Knowing that there are a lot of people who just need to feel loved, to feel safe, to feel cared for right now. And so let us just send our love to that country, to each person who feels like they just need that loving support right now. Imagine yourself just embracing someone and holding them. take another deep breath in. Now bring to mind the people of Ukraine who are fighting for their freedom, who are seeking simply just to live in peace. And let us send our love. Imagine the citizens of that country happy, feeling safe and secure, having everything they need to be at peace, wholly and completely. And just send our love. Take a deep breath in. One more round of this. We're going to bring our attention to the people of the United States of America. Imagine the people of our nation living happily together in mutual appreciation, in harmony, in full loving kindness and respect. Imagine our nation's leaders operating from love and compassion. Imagine our individual communities being communities of support, communities of well-being, communities of interrelatedness and mutual care. And just send love to the people of our beloved country. So take a deep breath in. And just bring your attention back to this space and this place. Bringing that loving energy back with you into the room. Just take a moment and meet eyes with someone. And just share that love that you've cultivated with someone who might be sitting next to you or behind you. And then turn to someone else and just share that love through a gaze or just a meeting of the eyes. And here's what I want to say just to wrap up this time this morning, is that when we are willing to cultivate love within ourselves, to imagine this cascade of sharing of love, it does something deep within us that allows us to be open to see and to feel and to share that love. And it's important to do the practice where it's easy, to start with those that we love, to move towards those who might be difficult, and then to expand that love into the biggest possible way we can feel ourselves sending it out. Because it's practices like that that invite us into a felt experience of the sacred, which is the love of life that is seeking to express through each one of us. So just take a deep breath in. And once again, if it's comfortable, close your eyes. And I want to bring again to our awareness this idea that perhaps love is all that there is. In so many traditions, we hear this phrase, God is love. And what I know is that which I call God is merely consciousness. It is the energy of existence. It is the life force that connects and holds and lives and breathes in everyone and everything. And so perhaps, as even Albert Einstein would remind us, perhaps the nature of the universe is simply love. And what I know is that if love is all that there is, there can be no force other than that. And yet somehow in the world it appears there are places where this love is not. And so let us be the ones who are the places where the love resides. Let each one of our hearts and minds and our consciousness, let each one of our words, our eyes, and our choices be the place where love reveals itself in the world. Let us be willing to contemplate, to cultivate, to access that sense of the sacred, that sense of loving kindness, that sense of compassion and forgiveness within ourselves, so that we can be a place where the truth that love is all there is begins to multiply in the world because it radiates from us, because it begins to look through our eyes. It speaks compassionately with our words. It takes action in the world through our hands and our feet, because we become a people who are motivated by love, who are filled with love, who are the place where love is revealing itself in whole and new ways, the ones who are willing to look at even those who would bring harm or hatred to the world and be willing to look for the love that exists within them, be willing to look for the purity from which they came, be willing to look beyond all that is covering up that love and allow it to come through in some new way. Perhaps the antidote to the hatred that exists in the world is each one of us connecting to our sense of the sacred, and through our being, bringing that love and that sacredness and that compassion and that kindness into the world. Let us live a love that is so out loud, so infectious, so wild, that it emanates and shines from us in everything that we do. Because when we are so motivated by that, it will light a fire underneath us that will require us to stand for that which we believe in, for that which is important, for that which is necessary, for that which is sacred, for that which must be saved or lifted up. When we are filled with the fire of love, it will empower us to do that which is ours to do, because we will do anything for that which we love so wholeheartedly. So let us fall in love with humanity. Let us fall in love with life. Let us fall in love with the earth. Let us fall in love with diversity. Let us fall in love with individuality. Let us fall in love with freedom. Let us fall in love with possibility, and then give our lives to it. Let us be the place where the love emanates into the world, and we become that which we are seeking. Darkness cannot put out darkness. Hate cannot put out hate. Only light can do that. Only love can do that. So let's learn how to love bigger than we can imagine and be the healers the world is looking for. And so for this, I'm grateful, and I let it be. And so it is.